Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Thursday, September 2nd market update. On the economic front, weekly jobless claims were down 6,000 to 472,000. Estimate was for 470,000, so pretty close to estimate. Wasn't too bad. Didn't impact the market any. Quarterly U.S. non-farm productivity came in down 1.8%. Consensus was for it to be down 1.9%. Another not too bad number. And unit labor costs came in up 1.1%, which was a little better than consensus of it being up 1.2%. Monthly pending home sales rose 5.2% month over month, and the index came in at 79.4. The market was pretty happy about that. The weekly nat gas report showed a rise of 54 billion cubic feet in inventories, slightly higher than expected, but nat gas still finished positive on the day. On deck for tomorrow, of course, is the employment situation report. Non-farm payrolls are at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. The estimate is for them to be down 80,000. And we'll have also the ISM non-manufacturing index number out tomorrow, and the consensus is for it to come in around 53. The dollar was mostly flat today. Gold, silver, copper, and oil were all up. Light sweet crude futures were up another $1.11 to settle at $75.02 a barrel. So looking at the dollar, the UUP, the ETF is what we're using. We had resistance up here, and it's having a once we come down, I have a hard time getting above the 50, the gold line. Now we're hanging right around the 20-day moving average. 2 days basically sideways here for the dollar. So we'll take a look at the West Texas Intermediate Crude Point and Figure chart. So on the West Texas Intermediate Crude Point and Figure chart, you see we're right back up. We've had resistance here prior, but around 76. If we can print 76, we will go back on a buy signal. Currently, we are on a sell signal on crude with a 58 price objective per the chart. And so if we print 76, that'll put us back on a buy signal. So we'll be watching that into tomorrow. Take a look at the Dow. Dow closed up another 50 points to 10,320. S&P closed up another 10 points to 1,090. NASDAQ closed up another 23 points to 2,200. And the Russell closed up another 7 points to 632. The Russell had the larger percent gain for the second day in a row, up 1.1%. Up 1.16%. Sorry about that. Up 1.16%. And the Dow was the weakest again today, but still up 0.49%. Of course, as you might expect going into holiday weekend, volume was pretty anemic, down 25 to 50% below average daily volume. It's pretty anemic. And plus, we have the employment situation report out tomorrow, and a lot of people back off anyway. So it was quite impressive actually that we ended as well as we did. Let's see. So taking a look at the Dow, let's get the moving averages back up here. So we ran in yesterday. We ran into the 50-day moving average on the Dow. We overcame that. We've taken out the 20-day moving average, and then now we're headed back up to where this trend line I have drawn is at, and which would put us back up to about 30-day average, which is 10,373 if we get up that far. Take a look at the S&P. S&P, let's get rid of that. So we ran into the 20-day moving average yesterday, the green one, and the 50-day moving average. And today we took that out. We've got the 30-day moving average. We're just below it. The 30-day moving average is at 1,091. So we'll be watching to see if we can take that out. I wouldn't be surprised if prior high is 1,100. We might take that out, get back up to there. Possibly, it's going to depend on probably the non-farm payrolls tomorrow, and who knows? I mean, it may not. We may not have much of anything go on tomorrow in the market, or we could have a big move. So, I think Art Cashin was saying the chances of us having a 3-digit move are high or something, and because of the Trader's Almanac. So we'll see if that plays out tomorrow. Let's look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, same thing. We went past the 20, right below the 50-day moving average. Typically, I feel much more comfortable, as the McAfee wants to do an update. I feel much more comfortable doing swing trades once we get the NASDAQ will get back above the 50-day moving average, and the institutions will prove that they'll keep us up there. Typically, the market is much easier to swing trade once we get up to those levels, so we'll be watching for that. So we're right here. Again, we're looking okay. The stochastic momentum index here, that means pointed pretty much straight up. Again, we're looking all right. Then the Russell. I want to talk about the Russell here. which I always don't go over. But we've been in this channel down from the end of April to May in the Russell. We bang, didn't make it up there, hit again, bounced over here like a ping pong ball, and then we got all in here. Okay, so you would assume there's a good chance we're going to get back to this trend line, around the 640, because since we were there. And if you let me show you the 60-minute chart on the Russell. You're going to see here that we did have a head and shoulders bottom that we put in here on the Russell. Massive breakout here. So if you measure from here to here, well, guess what? That puts us about up here 640 to 645 area. So I'm guessing this probably may get here, and we'll see what happens when we get there, and maybe we don't. But if this plays out, which looks like we're on our way there, so it looks like it is playing out, then that's probably where we're headed, and I'll probably be a little more cautious once we touch this trend line again. It's going to take a lot of volume for us to break out above that. Let's take a look at the gold via GLD, the ETF. Gold still hanging tough, looking good, up more today. Silver flying higher. Silver stocks are performing really well. Gold miners are still looking good. Euro didn't move much. Another little doji day of equal buying and selling and going basically nowhere. Little tiny thing. It's not there. It's over here. Little tiny day. Copper still looking good. FCX is still looking good as far as stocks go. Probably the best play in copper. Another little doji day here in copper. Let's get rid of that. So we're right there. So it's still looking good. VIX volatility index. Talked yesterday about the 200-day, which is the little black line here, kind of sitting on it. We did take it out today, so we're below the 200-day on the VIX, which we're kind of in this possible falling wedge, which would probably be bullish eventually. But right now, more volatility coming out. The momentum, stochastics is headed straight down. And let's see, XLF. Look at XLF. Financials continue to go up today. A lot of them are looking good. Didn't have big moves today, but a lot of them are looking pretty good. Take a quick look. JP Morgan moving up. Bank of America moving up. I know I got lines drawn everywhere. Citi moving up. Hit resistance here at 30, but some of the financials are looking pretty good. And there's a PNC, a bunch of them you can look at out there. Let's see. Let's go take a look at the volatility index. So we'll look at the NYSE volatility index. Alrighty, so I didn't mean volatility, I meant McClellan oscillator. Did I say volatility? I think I said volatility index. Okay, so we're looking at the McClellan oscillator for overbought or oversold conditions, and right here 25. So we have moved into the overbought area, but we're not overbought. We need to get up in this area here, 50, 60, 70, 80. We need to get much higher. So we're not overbought. We're still fine. So I'm pretty neutral on that. And let's take a look at the sectors. All right, so 15 of the 16 sectors we follow finished in the green today. The retail index had a large percent gain. We had some decent retail numbers out this morning, which I don't always cover, but we did have some good, decent retail numbers out. So retailers, a lot of them had a good pop today. So retail was up 2.19%. The utility index was the weakest. Of course, that's more defensive type sector and kind of risk on right now. And it was down 0.28%. So let's go over, I'm kind of doing this a little different today. So let's go over and take a look at the current market signals. Follow the point and figure charts for the Dow, NASDAQ, S&P. I talked yesterday about the Dow, NASDAQ going back on point and figure buy signals, and the Russell is too. I just don't cover it on here. The price objectives actually increased today since the market went a little bit higher, so our price objectives have moved higher. S&P is still on a sell. Let's go over and take a look at the charts today, because I wanted to show you. All right, so here's the price objective now, 11,050 on the Dow. Now we are at a resistance. We've got a trend line resistance, and so right here around this 10,350, we've got a little trend line here and some resistance. So we'll see how that plays out. S&P S&P needs to go back up to 1,110 before we go on a buy signal. So, NASDAQ, same with the NASDAQ, another trend line resistance, and we haven't been able to take this as May. Number five is a May, 6 is June, etc. So we have not been able to take this trend line out since back, when the market started correcting. So we are at resistance also on the NASDAQ, and the Russell, we'll go ahead and look at it real quick. Russell also at resistance again, back from when we started correcting back at the end of April, early May. So again, so this is kind of a big deal. If we can break through this, I think we definitely would have some decent upside for at least a little, short term, if we can go ahead and break through these. So this is going to be part one. I will cover the chart watch in part two. All right, so I'll be back with you here in just a minute.